Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Analytical Amateurs, the show where a bunch of unprofessionals pretend to be professional. I'm Alcatabra. I'm here with Galactic Blame and Triple M. Say hi, guys.
Hello, everyone.
Fuck Christopher Nolan.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
I know we were talking about
stay with us, people, please.
Yeah, that's an inside joke on the show.
Let him get it out first.
I can't believe that, how pretentious do you... Okay, hold on.
Yeah,
Let me preface.
Let's give some context. Give some context.
That Christopher Nolan is responsible for some of my favorite movies of all time. However, fuck this man for trying to force me into a theater to watch his new Robert Pattinson movie.
Oh, God.
There is a global pandemic going on, and I am stuck in the country that has the worst of it because it's full of idiots. I would pay $20 to watch your movie in the comfort of my dorm room, but I will not sit next to some coughing motherfucker who just doesn't want to wear a mask in a movie theater because it makes him hot. God damn it, Chris. I'm trying to be on your side here. It's one thing. It's like, Annika, say your thing about the fucking mutants.
What about mutants? What do you want me to say?
You know what you were saying about how it's one thing to release
it's one thing. It's one thing for them to go ahead and release New Mutants, which they've been trying to spew out for the past 3 freaking years, and everyone knew was probably going to be bad considering how many reshoots it had to go through. It's one thing to do that because no one was going to see it anyway. They were probably just going to have to make it like a tax write-off or something. Should have just released it on Disney Plus or whatever. But it's another thing to actually have a movie that people have been legitimately looking forward to and basically saying like, well, if you want to see it, why don't you go to the theater instead? And I
think it's not even like, I don't understand the logic. The only way that I can possibly think of, his thought process is they need to see it this way. They need to see it in IMAX.
Yeah, it's like a preference thing. And I'm
dude, you do realize that if you put it on streaming or if you make us pay for it, you'll make more money, right? Nobody's going to a theater that's in their right mind.
And you can screen it afterwards. Well, yeah, Edgar Wright.
Edgar Wright loved it, and that's why I want to see it all the more. I want to see it so bad, but I value my life. I don't want to go get sick because of Robert Pattinson.
I mean, you can put it on theaters later. People go to old movies, to the theaters for movies that released 10 years ago. Still, you know.
Again, New Mutants was supposed to come out 3 years ago, so it's one thing to do that. But it's not like Tenet has had any delays yet.
It's had
at all.
It's had one.
Oh yeah, it had
Christopher
one.
Nolan fought that.
Yeah, a small one.
Dude, Speaking of Robert Pattinson, let's talk about DC fandom real quick.
Hey, DC fandom.
Segue.
Should be your new little corner thing, Triple M's corner. Let's see what the DC fandom is up to on Twitter today.
I had so much fun that Saturday. I did not leave my desk. I made sure I was fed beforehand. It was just me and my laptop for 7 hours watching all these panels. And I was pissed off because I was most excited for the Warner Brothers Games panel. Mm-hmm. And they started it with Wonder Woman. And I love the character of Wonder Woman, but I could not. And Patty Jenkins, Pedro Pascal, Gal Gadot, if you hear this, which I doubt you will, but if you hear this, I am glad you have found your footing, but I could not give less of a shit about your movie.
Yeah.
I will go see it, but I am not excited for it like I am excited for other things. But the first panel was Wonder Woman, and they were just talking, and I'm like, just end the panel so I can see what the new Batman game is. And Gotham Knights looks so good.
Yeah, for a game without Batman, it works pretty well, honestly.
Dude, all the people in the comments are like, what about Batman? I want to play as Batman. And I'm like, if you want to play as Batman, go play the other four. Go play
any of the Arkham games, because there's
this is a game where I get to play as Tim Drake. So get the fuck out of my face if you're not on board, because Tim Drake doesn't get the love he deserves, and he's awful in the Arkham series. He's bald and an old man.
They kind of screwed him over a little bit.
So they started it off strong with Gotham Knights, and then I think the next big panel I was hyped for was the Suicide Squad. And oh my god, I am so hyped for the Suicide Squad.
I love that they're just going full camp, and I'm
James
so
Gunn,
down for it.
James Gunn is blowing his fucking load, dude.
He
took everything that made the original Suicide Squad comics great, and he's putting it in a movie. And while he's doing it, he's giving a giant middle finger to Disney and to David Ayer. And I could not support him more. Like, I love how Disney fired him. And then, like, a year later, they're like, okay, you can come back now. He's like, okay, let me finish this DC movie first.
Wait, no, he's like, it's too late. I'm gonna go. I was like, yeah, I'll take my paycheck for Guardians 3, but while I'm at it, I'm also gonna be with the rival studio. God, what a power move.
Everything about the Suicide Squad looks so good. Like, there are 3 characters in that movie that I know. Like, King Shark, Harley Quinn, and, Boomerang. Yeah. Everyone else, I've got no fucking clue. I think.
What about my boy Polka Dot Man though? Like the greatest
you're right. I'm so sorry. David Dastmalchian as the Polka Dot Man, and I have no idea who TDK is, but I'm pretty sure it's Arm Fall Off Boy, and they're just masking it. And also, we don't know who Taika Waititi is playing. Oh yeah, but they didn't reveal. They didn't. But
let him be the Joker. Let him be the Joker, please. I want to see Taika Waititi as the Joker.
In the video, here's my theory. In the video where they revealed the full cast of characters and their actors, everybody got their actor name except King Shark. So, can you imagine how funny if it would be if King Shark walked on screen like, hey, everybody, I'm King Shark. Nice to meet you.
Oh my god. You sound like Korg. Oh my god.
I'm so excited for this movie. John Cena was so funny during the panel. Like, he was like, James Gunn was like, how's everybody doing? Everybody excited? And everyone was like, yeah, woo. And John Cena puts the mic in his mouth and goes, woo! He just fucking screamed. It was such a great panel. And then I'm trying to think. Next was Shazam. Oh, well, hold on. Yeah. I'm getting there. Getting there. Of course. Don't worry. I'm getting there. Next is Shazam, and Shazam was really funny. They had the mother. Okay, I love Zachary Levi because this man. It's a Zoom call, and they call it Shazoom. And like, it was just Zachary Levi and the kid who plays Billy Batson. And then he was like, hey, don't tell David this. David's the director. It's like, don't tell David this, but I'm working on my own Zach cut. I turned down the saturation, and I took out all the jokes, and I made it really dark. And then David Sandberg joined, and he goes, you recut my movie? So they revealed the title, and that's basically it.
I'm honestly hyped.
And I'm hyped.
It's
called Fury of the Gods.
Sounds pretty epic.
And I'm really hyped. I hope that one day we can get David F. Sandberg on the podcast, because he did a podcast with the Sardonicast guys, and he talked about The Lighthouse, which is like the best movie of 2019.
David F. Sandberg, we love you. Please join us. Please.
We love you. Please.
Also, Edgar Wright, and David F. Sandberg. Ooh, really? You will?
Yeah. I wanna.
Cool.
I'd like to.
That would be nice. David F. Sandberg, please join us. Edgar Wright, please join us.
I will link this on Twitter and at him.
Zack Snyder, please debate Triple M. That would be awesome.
Hold on. Okay. I like Zack Snyder. I was going to talk about that next. Okay. Oh wait, hold on.
You gonna hit him up in the DMs?
Real quick. I'd like to obfuscate real quick and backtrack. Because I had the option of either going to get lunch in the middle of fandom or sticking around for the Flash panel.
Oh boy.
And I regret sticking around for the Flash panel because I hate Ezra Miller so much.
God, that is like the start of every text from you, I swear.
It's not even like a, oh, I hate him as the Flash. It's a, you're an annoying human being.
Should I send him the picture? Should I post the picture that you sent us on the podcast?
Yes, he looks like a fucking gremlin in that goddamn panel. And then so here's what was going on, right? The screenwriter and the director were like, yeah, in this Flash movie we're going to be focusing on time travel and stuff. And then and then it would cut to Ezra Miller, and he'd be like, "Flash fact: did you know that hippos are faster than the human being? Beware." And I'm like, "Are you even in the right fucking place? Who are you talking to right now? Tell me more about the movie. Tell me what it's like to play Barry Allen. I don't care that you're a quirky human being. Jesus."
It's like, I'm not like other girls.
He's so annoying. His
I ain't
whole
like them
personality,
other speedsters.
His whole personality is, look how quirky I am. Guys, I'm so quirky. I'm so quirky.
Oh my god.
Ugh. Anyway, so that happened and it annoyed me. But then the Snyder Cut panel happened.
Oh yeah.
And
I like
there
the
were a
trailer.
couple things I disliked and a couple things I liked. I like the trailer. A lot of people are bashing Zack Snyder's use of Hallelujah, but I learned that was his daughter's favorite song.
Oh,
so
that's nice.
I'm giving it a pass.
That's
That leads me to my next point. I'm pretty sure I said this, or I mentioned this in our Snyderverse podcast, but I'm going to reiterate it now because I saw that panel I don't like Snyder's movies. He has a very different.
Shit.
He has a
dropping
very.
all the
Whoa,
bombs. Triple M is dropping all the bombs. My God.
I already said this isn't news. Motherfuckers. Okay. I don't like Snyder's movies. His creative vision is not something that I enjoy. However, I think I really love the guy himself. I think it's great that he's finally going to be able to show the world something he's passionate about. And he was really happy talking to the fans and talking to his cast. And I just, I wish him the best. And I have no doubt that everyone's going to love the Snyder Cut, whether or not it's good. And I really know that he put a lot of work into it. So, good for him. However, back to the first part. The trailer just looks like he took shots from the original movie and just ran it through the desaturation thing, added in a shitty CGI Darkseid and Steppenwolf, and then boom, we're done. Boom, we're done. Let's put that on film.
Oh, I mean, I hope
know,
I hope they improve it by the time it comes out because it's supposed to come out in like 2021.
2021.
So hopefully
it's
they fix
4 hours
up.
long.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
What the fuck?
And it's only part one, and it's only part one of a 2-part
What?
saga.
Are you kidding me? Oh my
So-
god.
Ooh,
I don't know. I mean,
this
good
man's
for him.
vision better be good.
Jesus.
But
I know.
there was this funny thing. He had guests on the stream. He picked guests at no, he didn't pick them. Sorry, he polled on Twitter to see who used the Release the Snyder Cut hashtag the most.
God.
And then he had them on his panel, and he would basically ask. And this is what got me. He would ask them questions, and he would go compliment fishing. So he had this one Asian woman named Fiona on, and he was like, "So, what are you most excited about?" And he just sat back as she sucked his dick on the stream. It was really kind of funny. But then afterwards, I was on Twitter, and it turns out that this Fiona chick is hardcore racist.
Ooh.
She's hardcore racist. I know that she got into an argument with someone who disliked BVS, and the person who disliked BVS was African American, and she said, "This is what happens when monkeys get access to smartphones."
Yeesh.
And I was like, "Ladies and gentlemen, release the Snyder Cut, ladies and gentlemen."
That is so drama. That's an oops. That's an oops.
But yeah, it made me very uncomfortable learning that Zack Snyder's biggest fan is a flaming racist.
Dear God.
But
Amazing.
so I have 2 more panels to talk about, and then we can talk about what we're here to talk about. I'm sorry, DC fandom had me hyped.
Yeah, since it's relevant to the whole fandom thing, since this happened, it's good to cover it in this video because it will tie into what we talk about later.
Fandom had me hyped, and none of my friends want to talk about it, so now you guys have to hear.
Don't worry, we're here for you.
So then they did the trailer.
We're here for you, Triple M.
They did the trailer for Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League.
Oh yeah, that game.
I couldn't care less.
I thought that was the movie's title. That's why I was so confused. I was like, wait, did they change the title in the... it's a game.
Dude, it hurts me so much to say this, but everything that I've heard and everything that I've seen just disinterests me. Starting with the squad roster, there's only 4 people.
Only 4?
And it's the most bland motherfuckers. It's Harley Quinn, and that's a given. Deadshot, and that's a given. King Shark, which is cool, I guess, and Boomerang.
That's
and
it?
you can only play as those 4 characters.
Yeesh.
But in the leaks, and these leaks turned out to be fake, but the leaks got me really hyped. It's like, you're going to be able to play as Bane, and Bloodsport, and Javelin, and Poison Ivy. I'm like, I don't know, this sounds sick! But nope, it's just... Bane. But, it's just the fucking the classic squad with Harley Quinn. So the roster doesn't have me excited. The fact that it's 4-person co-op means they're gonna pull an Avengers, like this new Avengers game coming out on Friday. To be like, don't worry, guys. If you don't want to play alone, we're gonna force you to matchmake with a bunch of people that you don't know. But the matchmaking is gonna be fucking broken. And also, it's recommended that you play with people online because single-player stories are dead.
Ooh.
I played all 3 betas for the Avengers game coming out on Friday, and I hated them so much that just before I did that, I hated it so much that just before I got on this podcast with y'all, I called GameStop and canceled my pre-order.
Damn.
Dude, it is so bad. It's a glitchy, boring, bland corporate mess, but we're not here to talk about that. I could talk about that for hours. And then I thought that Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League was going to have a nice plot that I could get behind. Like in the Justice League Unlimited show where Amanda Waller is like, the Justice League is a threat. They just don't know it yet. I need you to infiltrate the Watchtower and take them out from within before they can do any damage to humans. And I'm like, that's cool. The game's going to have like a moral compass that I'll have to side with, or like, I won't know who's the good guy or the bad guy. But no, all the Justice League are brainwashed. Yay! Superman's evil again, guys!
Somehow Lego DC Supervillains is the last good, like, Suicide Squad related thing I've experienced.
How fucking sad is that?
Dude,
that game actually is somehow more fun.
Let's sit down and list off the amount of times that Warner Brothers has been like, it'd be cool. Superman is a bad guy.
Whoa.
Wouldn't that be fucking great? You know that Jimmy Neutron meme where Sheen is doing show and tell?
Yeah.
And it's just like, and today I have evil Superman. And then it's like, Warner Brothers, this is the 7th time you've shown us evil Superman in class. It's so... and it's like, everyone in the comments is like, he's not evil.
My goodness.
He's brainwashed. I'm like, well, it's still not a fun concept. Like... and they'll have to team up to fight Brainiac because DC only has 3 supervillains:
Brainiac,
the Joker, Brainiac, and Darkseid. And if you want more, fuck you. Go read a comic book, you
and
nerd.
Sometimes Lex Luthor. That's about it.
And sometimes Lex Luthor, but only when he's a Jolly Rancher eating nerd. Sorry,
God.
I'm not very hyped for the Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League.
True.
But after a whole day of waiting, they finally started the Batman panel. And,
yes.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah, this movie looks so good.
I think it is literally my favorite trailer for a superhero movie ever. It looks so good.
Like, somehow the suit, I really did not like the suit when they first revealed it. It actually looks pretty good now in motion.
Dude, it looks so good.
Robert Pattinson gives me chills.
Robert Pattinson is so good. That scene where the thug is like, who are you supposed to be? Hey, beats the shit out of him.
Kicks the shit out of him.
He hits him 12 times in 6 seconds and breaks his arm.
Damn.
And it just looks so good. Like, the Riddler is the perfect villain for what they're going for. And Jeffrey Wright looks so good as Gordon. And it's gonna be so good.
He can't even finish a sentence.
It's gonna be so good, dude. I sat there and I watched that whole panel, and everything Matt Reeves said, it just reaffirmed my belief that he knows what he's doing. He knows who Batman is. He knows what he's doing, and he knows what he's doing with this, and he knows what he's doing. Did I say that?
Yeah. Which would bring us to, obviously, the movies in question, the Dark Knight Trilogy.
All right, before we go on, fuck Christopher Nolan. All right, let's talk.
All right.
Batman Begins.
That's out of the way.
Batman Begins.
So we are going to start to discuss
the
one, the only, the Dark Knight Trilogy. Yay! Woohoo! Yeah. Directed by Christopher Nolan. Yeah, Batman Begins.
Isn't it crazy that Batman Begins came out in 2005?
Yeah, that movie's old.
Jesus, that makes me feel so old.
Stop. Stop. This movie, or these movies, changed superhero cinema. Like, they...
Cinema.
Batman.
Brought back
Dude,
Batman.
not even just superhero cinema, just in general.
Yeah, cinema.
I mean, let's talk about the last on-screen Batman adaptation before Batman Begins.
Hi, Freeze. I'm Batman.
Hi, Freeze. I'm Batman. And Annika was not here for us to discuss those movies, but I'm sure she loves all of them.
I can already imagine how that went. So.
My God.
But it's just the major tonal shift.
Yeah.
From a movie like Batman and Robin to Batman Begins is exactly what the character needed. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of like what happened in the comic.
Yeah.
Because for the first 20 years or so of Batman, he was a goofster, you know? And I use that word in the sense that it's supposed to be used. He was a goofster. He wore bright blue and pink gloves and
pink gloves.
And cracked jokes.
That
no
man
one
talks about the pink gloves.
And then the 70s came and he started beating the shit out of people. But yeah. So there's a lot of parallels between what happened to Batman in the comics and what happened to him in the film, and I really like that.
Have you seen the meme of what I like to call the Batman cycle? Like, a lot of people have pointed out how Batman's, movies have sort of cycled about. You start with Tim Burton's Batman 80... Or you start with Adam West Batman, and how campy that is, right? So then they do Tim Burton's Batman 89 to show that Batman can be serious and dark. But then it gets too dark with Batman Returns. So they make it more campy with Batman Forever. But then it gets too campy with Batman and Robin. Then they make it dark with the Dark Knight Trilogy. But then it gets too dark with Batman v Superman. Then they make it light again with the Justice League theatrical cut. And now it's going to probably get too light. Or they're just going to make him more dark again with the Batman.
Dude, the way the Batman looks, it looks like it's going to be. I'm sorry, I'm back to this, but I'm really excited. It looks like it's going to be an actual detective story, like a la The Long Halloween or Hush. So that's what I'm hyped about for it. But let's talk about Batman Begins.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. This movie out of the trilogy feels the most superhero, if that makes sense. It feels the most generic. It's not bad, but it feels like the most. Typical superhero film.
It felt like it was. They kind of had hesitancy with.
I agree and disagree
a bit, and he was kind of okay, we got to play it a bit safer here before we let you do whatever you want, kind of deal.
I agree and I disagree because yes, the aesthetic of Gotham and the way it looks is very superhero comic booky.
Yeah,
and I guess the plot is kind of comic booky. But then you got to compare that plot to The Dark Knight Rises, and it's
we'll get there.
But seriously, I would argue that The Dark Knight Rises is more super. You're trapped on an island. There's a nuke about to go off in 3 months, and now everybody has to trigger it.
We'll get to it.
But yes, I'm sorry.
Or
we're talking about Batman Begins.
Movie.
Yeah.
I love Batman Begins. I think it's great.
Really,
a lot of people would argue that it's better than The Dark Knight, but I would say that they should go fuck themselves.
Damn.
There's a lot that I like. I think the Batsuit looked fucking amazing. Obviously they went back to the whole he can't turn his head thing. But I think the Batsuit looks amazing. I think that the choice of villains was perfect because Ra's al Ghul and Scarecrow are two of my favorite.
Is it Ra's or Ra's al Ghul?
It's Ra's, and I swear to God...
Because I heard people say Ra's.
I swear to God, if I see one more live-action adaptation of Ra's al Ghul where they call him Ra's al Ghul, I'll kill myself. Ra's al Ghul pronounces it Ra's al Ghul. In the animated series, in the comics, in every other version of... I mean, for God's sake, Gotham got it right.
Oh, yeah.
It's Ra's.
Okay.
And I feel like an elitist, but that's just the way it should be pronounced. And whenever Michael Caine says Ra's al Ghul, I'm like, stop. Ra's al Ghul.
Speaking of Ra's al Ghul, he is a very interesting villain. I didn't really know much about him before watching this film, and I actually find his whole elitist League of Shadows group thing to be really interesting. I like how he had
Yeah. Sorry, I got confused because in comics there is the League of Shadows and then the League of Assassins.
Yeah, I remember League of Assassins was in an animated series, so I
And
thought
if
they
you
were two
ever want to
different
know the
groups.
difference, if you ever want to know the difference between those two groups, here's a hint: there is none. There is no
Literally the
difference.
same thing.
But in the Rebirth Detective run, Batman is fighting the League of Assassins, and then Ra's al Ghul is like, "We're currently at war with the League of Shadows," and I'm like, "What the fuck is this? What the fuck?" I don't. They're two different things, but yeah, okay. Sorry, I just got confused. I couldn't remember what they called it in Nolan's.
It was League of Shadows in these films, yeah. Because I remember Bane. I remember what Bane says in Dark Knight Returns.
I remember Bane going,
"I am
the
League of Shadows."
I am the League of Shadows.
But
we'll
back
get
on
to the
track.
Bane jokes later.
Yeah. I think that this film, I'm surprised they never really went into Batman's origins before this film, because like Tim Burton's Batman '89 kind of just like addressed it once, and this movie actually makes it a really big deal, and it kind of kickstarted the whole Bruce Wayne's parents keep dying meme, because we've seen it done over and over and over again since then. Yeah.
Can you imagine getting the call from your agent? Just like, hey, you want to be in the new Batman movie? Hell yes, I do. Who am I playing?
Thomas and
Wayne.
Martha
Son
Wayne.
of a bitch. Son of a bitch.
You get like 10 minutes of screen time.
Poor Jeffrey Dean Morgan, man. He's such a great actor, and they wasted him on a no-line name in Batman vs. Superman. But I really like the version of Thomas and Martha Wayne we got, and I love their. This is gonna sound fucked up. I love their death. It's I always love the version of Bruce that thinks that his parents' death is his fault because he wanted to leave the theater.
Yeah, that was a
wanted
cool
to
way
go.
to like actually put some pressure on his conscience.
That's some like Peter Parker type shit. That gives you just another reason why he does this, right?
Yeah.
And I love. I'm skipping ahead in the plot, but I love how when he comes back to Gotham, he comes so close to killing Joe Chill.
Yeah,
and
that
it's
was really nice.
It's a great illustration of how thin the line that Bruce rides is.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of which, I think that this film really is probably the best origin story like I've ever seen, because it really actually focuses on like Bruce Wayne, like not just Batman, but like Bruce Wayne. The whole first act. The whole first act is just Bruce Wayne, and then he becomes Batman in the second act. When in other films they want to jump into the hero stuff as soon as possible. So I like that they actually fleshed him out and stuff. Looking at you, Man of Steel. Anyway.
Hey.
No, we're not gonna get into that again.
Hey, don't be Superman, Clark. Let me die. Don't be Superman. I forbid you.
Okay, back on track. I like that actually really did delve into his psyche. It establishes relationships well. Like, I really love the scene where he throws the gun into the river. That scene is very powerful. Like, especially since he was really about to kill Joe Chill, and Rachel's words really get to him, like how his parents will be ashamed. Like, that's how you build character.
He looks like he got stabbed when he was told that.
Yeah.
It's so good.
So interesting. It's so good.
I love that, and I don't understand how nobody had thought to do this. Where they're just like, let's take a superhero movie and let's ground it in as much reality as we can. And I think, and Jesus, I might be wrong. I don't know what was going on in the directors' heads, but I think that we have the Dark Knight trilogy to thank for my favorite TV show of all time, Daredevil. Because I think that without the Dark Knight trilogy being grounded so well in reality, the directors of Daredevil wouldn't have even tried.
Yeah, a lot of people wouldn't have even tried. It encouraged a lot of
seems like it seems so obvious now, like the best choice to do for so many different superheroes, but it's hard to believe that there was a time where it wasn't like that. Like, you either went too extreme, like you either went way too campy or way too dark, gritty, unrealistic. Like, there was never really a fine line between that, with drama and everything. Crazy.
There's so much about this film that I like. I mean, the casting for Scarecrow was fantastic. Cillian Murphy did a great job. I like how he comes back through each movie. He's just kind of there. I will say I am not fond of the choice to cast Liam Neeson as Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah.
I'm not fond of that. It's
I just like Liam
kind of
Neeson,
whitewashing.
but, you know.
I like Liam Neeson a lot. Don't get me wrong. He did a great job. It's just, it's kind of whitewashing the same way that casting Bane as a white guy is.
Oh yeah, I forgot Bane is
whitewashing.
I forgot.
Bane is like Hispanic, and Ra's al Ghul is Middle Eastern Chinese. But yeah, let's make them white guys. Fuck it.
Damn.
But I mean, it's like, it's whatever, because, you know, I was about to say they're both great villains, but, you know, Ra's al Ghul's a great villain. I should probably call him Rav, shouldn't I?
Yeah. But, speaking of which, I think that this film really does go over the top with its stakes. The villain, while the finale does feel kind of a bit too superhero-y with like the whole we're gonna turn the city into an apocalypse by making everyone smoke fear gas, and I'm like, that sounds a bit too whack, but you're making it work, I guess.
Fucking Ra's al Ghul is like, Gotham City is the worst city on Earth, and to prove that,
it's unsavable.
To prove that Gotham City is the worst, I will turn it into the worst. Okay, all right, I guess.
I love how it's always like Gotham City is like so bad, and then they blame like everyone in there. I was like, dude, it must just suck in general to live in Gotham. I was like, I can't imagine how many people are just like, I don't want to live here anymore, and then they get blamed.
Imagine being a Gotham
like shit in there.
Imagine being a Gotham citizen, walking into your living room, turning on the TV, and seeing on the news, Arkham Asylum inmates break out again. Just being like, honey, grab the shotgun.
It's like,
lock the
shit,
doors.
here we go again.
We have a
every
code
day.
Joker.
There's like 25 crazed villains every night. It's just such a mess.
But I think the best...
Like, they're just used to it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the best thing that these films did, but it's one of the best things. They captured... Oh, Jesus. Okay. Up until the third film, they captured the Alfred Bruce dynamic perfectly.
Yeah.
Like
Alfred
it is a perfect dynamic. The whole, I'm trying to get you to eat, but you're always out there. I'm trying to get you to stop, but you're always out there. I care about you and don't want to see yourself get killed, but I'll stick with you because that's my duty as your father. Like, that is the perfect, the perfect, like, vibe between those two. And for some reason, it's just completely fucking abandoned in film number 3. But whatever.
But I think that worked really well. Lucius Fox was a very interesting character. I thought it was good to have him around to like have a realistic reason for why Bruce Wayne would have all his gadgets and stuff. I never really cared. I just called him Lucius. His name is Lucius Fox, right? I'm not confusing him with Lucius Best. Lucius Best is from Incredibles. Never mind.
No,
but yeah, Lucius Best is Frozone from Incredibles. I almost got them confused. Anyways, Lucius Fox. I thought he was a very interesting character, and I just like Morgan Freeman, so it was cool to see him. Yeah. Other than that, this movie, there's some technical things I'd go over. Like, for one, I think I might as well just address it now. The elephant in the room, the voice. Batman's voice is questionable.
Yeah, it's just a meme at this point.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not even like it's just something that everyone just kind of accepts at this point.
Fuck
like,
you
they
guys.
make fun of it, but they're
Fuck
like, but
You
everything
don't
is
like?
so
Do you
good.
like it, Chipotle?
Fuck you guys. Fuck
Do
you
you
guys.
like
Oh
it,
God,
Chipotle?
please
You can't tell me
elaborate.
this doesn't sound badass. Dude, I'm sorry.
God.
I go to sleep
wait a sec.
watching The Dark Knight, man. Whenever I can't sleep, I put The Dark Knight on, and I've just gotten used to it. And I like it. I like it a lot more than the robotic shit that we got in BVS, and I like it a lot more than him just talking like normal. I think that if we're grounding this in reality, I think that it makes sense he'd want to mask his voice, and obviously he'd probably get some kind of fucked up throat cancer from talking like that. but I like it. I think it's cool. I mean, it's better than fucking. Did you ever see the skit where Pete Holmes did this, where he pretends to be Batman workshopping his voice? He's like, "Where were the other drugs going?" And he's like, "What are you doing?" "I'm talking like a bat." So I don't know. I like it, but I can understand why some people wouldn't, because it's kind of hard to understand him sometimes. I mean, in the second film, In the second film, they dialed back, but in the first film, it's kind of hard to understand what he's saying.
He's really trying to warm up at that point, I guess.
But I think
I was watching Howl's Moving Castle the other day, and they had like that scene where he's like full blown, like almost complete like crow monster thing. I'm sorry, I don't know that I'm not a Ghibli nerd, so like whatever. But he had that part where he sounded just like his Batman voice, and then I was like, oh my god, and it just kind of made me laugh.
I think the line delivery is really great sometimes. Yeah. Christian Bale should have gotten nominated for these movies.
These movies should have been nominated, period. These movies should have
been nominated, everything. For everything. All the things.
I don't like giving Oscars to superhero actors because, they're good. But I think Christian Bale really does deserve some kind of recognition because it gives me chills every time that thug's like, what are you? He's like, I'm Batman.
Yeah,
like,
and I'll give him credit. As cheesy as the Batman voice is, it actually sounds pretty good when he's trying to be like intimidating. Like during the like where he's like when he's like throwing around Joker and screaming like, "Where are they?" Like that actually works. like it works in scenes like that. And so I give him credit for that. Speaking of which, I think that we should talk about his morality, because morality definitely plays a big role in this whole trilogy, more so in The Dark Knight. But in this film, this is where it gets kind of shaky. Like, a lot of people have memed that that he actually kills in this trilogy. And
he does!
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Obviously, the most evident one is the finale of this film, which we'll get to. But,
I don't... Hold on. I'm trying to think. I will defend these movies till the day. I will defend the first two movies till the day I die. You're gonna understand once we get to part 3. I'm gonna go off, but
oh, Lord.
but it's not like in. Okay, let me frame my thoughts. In Batman '89, he is clearly shown killing people.
Yeah, he's just a straight up
Batman.
cynic.
In Batman versus Superman, he is clearly shown killing people.
Full on.
And they just straight up don't care about the whole like no kill philosophy.
Yeah, but
it's like, it looks cool.
It's kind of left up to interpretation, and that's why I like it. You know, and obviously, in a perfect world, it would show all of the thugs, living. But whatever. I mean, I just like how it's left up to interpretation. That being said, that completely goes out the window when he says, "I'm not going to kill you, but I don't have to save you either."
Oh, here we go. Here's the debate. Yeah, this is what I was talking about. This is where it gets debate.
That's like a death sentence.
Yeah, this is where it gets debatable. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna defend him here. I'm gonna defend Batman's actions. Like you said, he didn't kill him. He just didn't save him. It is cynical that he did not save him. However, Roz brought this onto himself by literally charging the train into I can't remember what he was trying to hit, like Gotham
Clock Tower.
He's by charging it towards there. So what it is basically an example of how he brought all this onto himself. Like, Batman did not start the train or anything. It's just like how in the fight when he thought he killed the original Ra's al Ghul. Like when he's told to execute that guy and he says no, then he sets the room on fire. Then Ra's al Ghul, the fake one, tells his soldiers to stay in the room. Like, he tells them all to stay there and fight Batman. So when they die, it's not necessarily Bruce's fault. Like, they could have left and stuff like that. So,
but you can make like a natural selection argument. I guess.
And also mainly, this is the beginning. Like, I think that what many people are ignoring is that Batman grows from this.
Like, he actually begin.
Yeah, because we see in the next movie,
it's baby Batman.
Yeah, we see in the next movie how important not killing to him is, because he's matured and gotten more used to it. That's why he doesn't kill the Joker at the end, even though Joker literally killed the love of his life and is just a full-on monster. He saves him from falling. So I think it's important.
I think it's important that we note that he's not wearing hockey pads.
Ooh.
Sorry,
I get
but
it.
No, I feel like if I were in Bruce's position, I'd be like, okay, I train with this guy. He's smart enough to know how to get off this train before it fucking blows up. But also, did nobody tell Batman that the Lazarus Pit's not in this universe? Oof. I don't know. I don't know. It's like a moral gray area.
I think it would be better if the movie addressed it, maybe. Like, afterwards. Like, have Batman be like, is what I did right or something? Like, talking to Rachel or something. Like, one scene of that would have worked. Similar to how, actually, no, I'm not even going to say this. Never mind. Moving on into next film. Next point. I was about to.
All right.
Wait, was there anything
Let's talk about.
I definitely feel like we're gonna have more words for this next one, and definitely the last one.
Yeah. Oh, last thing I want to say about Batman Begins. Two last things. First one is that the movie is a bit campy at times, and like it has the most humor of the three. I think it's not necessarily to the point that it's like cringy. But there's some moments that make me laugh, intentional or not. My favorite bit out of this whole saga is during his first scene as Batman, where he's like taking out goons in the warehouse, and one guy's like just like, "Where are you?" And then he appears right next to him. He's just like, "Here," and the guy just goes, "Oh!" And the guy's just like, "Oh!" And then gets swooped up, and all of a sudden I just burst out laughing when I saw that. But yeah, other than that, it's just Batman Beginning, so also, obviously he's not.
There's also he's just like. Yeah, I don't need this piece of tech. Hey, kid, you want this?
He gave the advice to a kid. That was kind of
random kid.
Other than that, yeah, I really like the ending. I like that he and Rachel, like the sort of reminded me of Spider-Man 1 because I seen like Spider-Man 1 like the week before this. How he doesn't end up with the girl, Rachel, because of like his life as a superhero. I really like that. Just thought it was a cool touch showing the whole responsibility thing. And yeah. It was Batman Begins. Really good.
So now we're going to talk about Batman the Knight. The Dark Batman Knight.
And, the Dark Knight. One of the heavily commented to be one of the greatest movies ever. Not just superhero. Many people say this is one of the greatest movies ever.
Well,
let's talk about it.
Let me start. Let me lay the groundwork for the discussion. I don't care how good any superhero movie that comes out in the next 20 years is. The Dark Knight is now and will always be the greatest comic book movie to ever be made. Logan is great. Joker is great. They are not as good as The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight is on another level of filmmaking and storytelling, acting. All of it, the score, all of it comes together to make a near flawless movie. And I have trouble even, like, coming up with flaws.
Putting into, words, anything about it.
Yeah,
it's
like, that is something else. It really lived up to the hype.
Like I said.
It's so weird. It's one of those, like, rare cases of, like, you know how there's just something where it's like, oh, I don't know what else to say about it because everyone's already said everything good about it, but it's so good that in a way it's kind of understated.
I am so
in
jealous.
A weird way.
I'm so jealous of my dad because I was 7 at the right. Yeah. So my dad went to go see this movie because he needed to get out of the house, not because he liked Batman. Well, he did, not because he wanted to see a superhero movie, not because he wanted to see a movie. He was driving around. He had like 3 hours. He's like, I'll watch The Dark Knight. And then he comes out of the theater and he's like, holy fuck. Like, nobody that went into this movie expected it to be as good as it was. Yeah. It is so... it's like, it can't be stated enough. I never get tired of watching it. Like I said earlier, if I can't sleep, put on The Dark Knight. I'll be out like a light within an hour. Not that it's boring, but it's comforting. You know, it's so good. The opening 10 minutes of that movie are perfection. with the heist and the way that it's framed, shot. It's the perfect villain introduction. And
speaking of whom, let's talk about the greatest villain of all time, the Dark Knight's Joker.
That's a fact, man. I don't even like the Joker. The Joker is like one of my least favorite Batman villains. But Heath Ledger knocked it out of the goddamn park, and then he died.
Knocked it out of the world. My goodness, yes.
This man straight up dropped the best performance in a comic book movie and dropped off the face of the earth.
Yeah, straight up, like just left one of the greatest cinematic legacies ever. That has been tried to be replicated forever.
Makes me so sad.
Yeah,
it makes me so sad because he was in the third one.
Oh my god! Imagine him in Rises. He would have changed Rises so much.
He would have changed it, and like. Dude, this is why I hate when people judge casting before they even see anything.
I remember everyone hated Heath Ledger.
Yeah. Everybody hated
Everyone was
Heath
like,
Ledger.
no way this guy
The same way that everybody was like, really? The guy from Twilight, you're going to have him play Batman? Yeah. And now they've been proved wrong fucking twice. because Robert Pattinson is Vengeance, and Heath Ledger's the Joker. Like, he's not a Joker to me. He is the Joker.
The Joker, yeah.
It's so good.
My goodness, it is.
Good.
It is something else. Like,
Everyone's like, "Oh, that guy from 10 Things I Hate About You for the rom-com is gonna play one of the greatest supervillains of all time." Fuck yes, he is.
Yeah.
He's gonna knock it out of the park.
I never really care about like rewatching like compilations. Like literally, all I want to do all day is just watch Heath Ledger like Joker compilations on YouTube and stuff. Just want to rewatch his scenes.
Quotable.
All day.
Like his lines are so
good.
quotable. Just like it's like, my mother was a drinker. Her father was a drinker. And my wife gambled.
His
and,
inflection
you're pretty.
is just perfect.
And the way he licked his lips was all improv, and so much of what he did was improv. And did you know that? I'm sure this is a very common piece of trivia, but it really speaks to the performance that Michael Caine in the scene where Joker raids the party. Michael Caine was supposed to have a line, but he had never seen Heath Ledger before, so he was just so fucking terrified that he didn't speak. He was just
goodness.
like,
I can imagine that man has such a presence, like in that film.
He just like, oh, and then Heath Ledger's like, hey, Harvey Dent, you know where Harvey Dent is? Anyone know Harvey? It's like, it's so, the way he enters the room, he just sucks all the attention on him. It's so
perfect.
I mean, okay, and I'm not one of those motherfuckers who's like, the Joker is actually the real hero of the Dark Knight. No, he's not. Fuck you. He's a villain. He's a villain. But I think he's the star.
Yeah, he's the protagonist. Like,
no, he's not the protagonist.
I said,
he's
like
the best.
A protagonist. I know Batman's the protagonist.
He's the best part of the movie. He's why people watch it over and over again, because we saw enough of Christian Bale in the first one, and he does a great job in the second one. But Jesus Christ, Heath Ledger makes this movie.
Mm-hmm. He does.
Like,
and we haven't even talked about the other factors yet. It's such a testament to his ability that, I mean, like, the man won an Oscar after he died.
Yeah, like, try topping that. My goodness. But on that note, I want to, because I didn't mention this, you mentioned the introduction to the film. Did you know there was a Spider-Man 3 poster at the very first shot?
It's in the shot where he's holding the mask.
Oh, good lord! I can just imagine someone watching Heath, like the Joker, after he's done robbing the bank, just watching Spider-Man 3 or something. That would be something. But anyways, back on track. This film has so many moving parts. It's honestly like unbelievable. Like the story, the drama surrounding both the Joker and all the chaos he causes, as well as just all the other stuff going on, like Batman trying to stop all these criminal organizations, Harvey Dent's morality, Harvey Dent when he becomes the villain. Like all of it's so good, and it feels like an entire mini series, like jam packed into one movie. Yet it somehow flows perfectly. It's
like, you just actually summed it up. It packs the character development and time of a TV season into one movie, and I've never seen it done like that. Again, nobody's ever done it like The Dark Knight. Like nobody's. And they need to stop trying, because it was a one-time thing, you know. And that's why it's bottle. It was lightning in a bottle.
It's 100% lightning in a bottle.
There's so many good parts of this movie. The Alfred and Bruce Wayne dynamic only gets better. Commissioner Gordon also makes this fucking movie. That guy.
I never cared about Gordon. This film actually makes him really cool.
Gary Oldman is my favorite iteration of. I mean, he is so
even better than
good.
J.K. Simmons, who only had 2 minutes of screen time.
No,
are you kidding?
I would say
poor J.K. Simmons.
I would say, shut up. No, I mean seriously though. I mean, it's like I can't even. How do you put into words why this movie is good?
You can't.
How do you do it?
Like, literally can't. We already established
works,
you can't.
The plot just works so well. Each scene okay, so I have a problem in movies when it feels like one scene only exists to set up the next scene. This movie, each scene exists, but also sets up the next scene.
Yeah.
Like it is. It's like constantly moving. The adrenaline, it's pumping. The Joker never gives you a chance to settle down. Like right after Batman saves the mayor from being shot during that parade. Right after that, Joker's like, time to blow up a hospital. Fuck it. Right after that, he's like, time to blow up some boats. Fuck it. It's like it never stops. And it's like, and Batman can never adapt. He's just chasing and trying to keep up with this guy who somehow has this perfect plan all laid out.
Yeah.
And some people
it just keeps escalating and escalating and escalating.
And some people argue that like the Joker's plan is too perfect and that's a flaw. I disagree, man. I think that the Joker sums it up. He's got no plan. He wakes up one morning and he's like, you know what would be funny? What if I blew up a hospital? He
throws everyone off. That's the whole point.
It's so well made. It's so well written. The dialogue is I'm sorry.
All right. On the next note, I guess I kind of want to talk about Harvey Dent / Two-Face and how he plays into all of this. So let me just say, no one really appreciates his performance as much as Joker's. Like, he did really good as a villain.
Aaron Eckhart is fantastic.
He was stellar.
Now, I must say, Two-Face has always been a weird case for me. And in this movie, I have to say he's one of the... As much as I love his performance, I feel like he's one of the weaker parts. Mainly because I feel like Harvey... Yeah, I love him. But I feel like Harvey's quest for vengeance goes a bit too far for how they established him. Like, he's clearly like a man who's all about justice and everything. And yes, it is upset. It's bad that he lost Rachel, but he goes
it's not about what's right. It's about what's fair.
Yeah, that's like, I wish that they built that up more, because he goes from this man who's all about pure justice to suddenly that he's willing to kill Commissioner Gordon's innocent little son in front of his wife and his daughter. And I'm just like,
you mean like
that feels like a complete 180.
You kind of wish they built it up just
I think it would have been better if they built up that he had like they had like one scene where he's like threatening the like one of Joker's like henchmen that he like kidnapped personally.
Fun
and
fact.
Batman, yes.
Fun motherfucking fact.
Ooh, this sounds
Joker henchman. The Joker henchman that he's threatening is David Desmalchian, also known as Polka Dot Man in the Suicide Squad.
It's all coming together.
Polka Dot Man confirmed.
David Desmalchian.
Nolan verse Polka Dot Man.
David Desmalchian is also in the MCU. He's Russian man from Ant-Man.
Oh, yeah.
He's the Russian guy. Or even like the Flint says, but yeah.
But point being, I just wish they would like built up his like a more dark side to him earlier. Like maybe that would explain why Joker is so obsessed with like breaking him, like proving that he has a false facade. Like I think like something like, because I just recently finished it, I'll reference it a lot. But the animated series, the original one, actually handled this pretty well. Like the whole point of Two-Face like turned evil is that like Harvey had like this suppressed like second personality. Like anytime he got upset or whatever, he would like actually like repress all of his anger into another personality called like Big Bad Harv, I think they called it. And then eventually, after the explosion that scarred his face, that second personality manifested itself into Two-Face. So I think they could have done something like that better, like maybe set up Harvey as someone with like mental issues, or maybe if not mental issues, at least that he's like cynical or something.
He's like the Arkham series at that point.
The Arkham series, in my opinion, does it perfectly. Well, okay, they don't do Two-Face justice in the Arkham series because he's always just a side villain. But like in Arkham Knight, there is one side of him that's like, rational, talking Harvey Dent, and then the other side is Two-Face. He talks like this.
I like when they actually like make it so like his scarred face like talks to his normal face like a separate personality. But since they wanted to go a more realistic route, I understand why they just made it kind of a scar. Which, on that note, it looks fantastic. Like I
does the CGI.
I love the way he looks in this film.
It still holds up pretty good.
And that was what I was about, is how like Christopher Nolan is pretty much anti-CGI. Whenever he CGI, you can tell like the helicopter scene in Dark Knight is pretty much the only scene that's extremely CGI'd, and you can tell because it looks really plasticky when it falls. But Harvey Dent's face, it legit looks like makeup. You couldn't.
I thought it was practical. I was like, how? I was like, how are they doing like his eye and all the practical stuff? And I was like, wait, it's CGI? Yeah. God damn, that looks good.
It's crazy how good it looks.
So good.
Other than that, I liked some little details surrounding him. Like, one little thing I noticed was that Harvey like mentions in like court, when like in the beginning scene where we see him like in court with like Falcone's guys, he's nearly killed by the guy in court, but with a gun. Yeah, and then he's like, if you want to kill like a public agent, I suggest you buy American.
I suggest you buy American.
And then like we see later on, he kills the
It's a
people he
great quote.
kills. Yeah, then the people he kills as Two-Face, he uses like an American like Magnum pistol, and I was like, huh, that's a nice little detail. But
Just the
I
little
love the
things.
recurring I make my own luck.
Mm.
That's a really cool joke. Well, not joke. It's a cool
Motif.
I was gonna talk about how this film has got like one of my favorite car chases ever.
The car chase is really good. Most of it was actually done with miniatures, which surprised me. Like
No.
Like
Christopher Nolan said, "Fuck CGI."
Yeah, this man knows how
made a
to
good
actually
movie.
make good movies.
I would pay Christian Bale to run me over in the Bat Pod. I would pay him.
I mean,
I would be Heath Ledger's stunt double, and I'd be like, "Yeah, hit me!" Like, fuck,
do it. Well, I mean,
step on me
to
while
be
you're
fair,
at it, dude.
that wasn't actually
So-
Christian Bale. Christian Bale was not allowed to actually ride the motorbike at all in the films, apparently, because it was like so dangerous and everything. And I was like, I want to ride that bike, even if it kills me. I really want to ride that bike. It looks really cool.
They made a car for this movie. The car that he saves that guy with, the car that he drives in front of the truck and gets T-boned in. That is like a custom. They don't make that. There's so much about. I'm just like bouncing around.
Yeah, there's no real
There's no real way to talk about who he is. You just start talking about stuff you like.
Yeah. There's so many.
What next?
So many good scenes, like the hospital scene, the car scene you mentioned earlier. I was going to talk about. I thought was good. I thought the boat was a good way to do tension. But,
everybody talks about how warehouse fight in Batman vs Superman is peak Batman. I disagree.
That's for action, maybe, but not for like character.
Well, no, because I also disagree for action. Ooh. I think the peak action Batman scene is when he is in the construction site, zooming through the SWAT team and the hostages and the clown, and he's wrapping cords around people, really and he's shooting stuff, and you have no idea what he's doing until at the very last second he stands there, and it all comes together. It's like it's kind of like visionist art, where like you up close, you have no idea what they're drawing, but you step back and you're like, oh my god, I see it. So like he punches someone in the face, turns around, shoots something on a pole, wraps a cord on this guy's leg, and then he gets there, and the cord pulls the guy and attaches to the other. That
scene doesn't get a lot of appreciation, but it really is.
People talk about how the choreography for the Nolan films is all elbow fighting, and I agree.
We'll get to that in the next film. Trust me.
I agree that Christian Bale fights with his elbow.
There's a reason. We'll get to that. Yeah.
That scene right there is just so Batman. It's like using your surroundings and your gadgets and everything to your advantage and not killing anyone, Zach.
More importantly, I love how this movie ends, even more than the last one. It's all about character. Like, this movie is like the best superhero movie, and it doesn't end with some giant boss fight between Joker in like a big mech and Batman in like the Batmobile or something.
Wait,
like it doesn't have to be that.
Sky.
Are you telling me that Joker doesn't inject a drug into his veins and turn into a giant hulking monster?
Don't remind me
because
of
that's
Arkham
the boss fight
Asylum.
that I had to go through.
Don't remind me of Arkham Asylum.
Can you imagine if you had been watching The Dark Knight and like up until that moment it's great, and then Heath Ledger injects Titan into his veins and
turns
he's
into
big,
a CGI.
and then I'm just like, well, that's 95% of a good movie. And I'm getting off track, but I'm gonna be so pissed if there's a fist fight with Riddler in the Batman, because the Joker and Riddler are not villains that you should ever fist fight. And like, okay, hold on, Batman. I think it's fine for Batman to beat the shit out of them, but I don't think it's fine for them to like
beat the shit back,
overpower him and be giant, because they're mental threats, or at least this version of Joker was. It's just, and I love how that's not even the climax. The climax is just this really personal conflict between the film's main protagonists.
This
like triangle,
Two-Face, Gordon,
this triangle of heroes. It's so good.
Yeah, like I'm surprised. Yeah, that's why I was surprised. I thought the climax of the film, when I'd heard of people have been talking about it, was the boats. but then they stacked this like super awesome personal conflict on top of it. And I was like, this movie was already too good. Stop spoiling me. But yeah, I really like the ending where Batman's forced to take the blame for Harvey's death, and because they can't let Joker win. Like, that was a really good way to just end it off and show Batman being a true hero.
That's the theme that they set up in Batman Begins. Yeah. Batman is not a superhero. Batman is a symbol.
Yeah, someone who protects the city as a symbol. The hero they need but don't deserve. Yeah.
Dude, and I'm going to be honest, if I were Christopher Nolan, I would not have made a third one. The ending of The Dark Knight
actually didn't really plan to.
Perfect.
he says he made these films just to be independent films. Like, he made Batman Begins, then he just happened to make Dark Knight, and it could have ended
Thank God.
And it could have ended there, but then that Dark Knight Rises happened, which we'll get to. Don't worry.
I would have if I were director, not bashing on Nolan again, but I would have ended it at The Dark Knight because the ending is just perfect. It is literally. This is the way the shot is set up, is literally Batman stepping into the light.
Oof. That is a good metaphor.
Dude, I just love The Dark Knight so much. The ending gives me chills. I've seen it chills every time. It's so genius that Gordon gives the final monologue and not Batman, you know?
Yeah.
There's something about that.
There's so many other things, really, Batman's character. The challenges Bruce Wayne faces not from just Joker, but his life as Batman. I like how he actually does cave into the pressure and was fully ready to just, reveal himself. And also, Rachel's death is a good twist for everything. It brings out the worst of both Harvey and Bruce Wayne. And then
it also goes to show. It also goes to show that the Joker was wrong.
Yeah.
Right? Because he took away what mattered most to both of them, but only one of them fell. And it shows why Batman perseveres. And that's what Alfred says, you know. Batman perseveres and is a symbol. And no matter what he loses, he has to keep fighting. And that's, I think that's why Alfred burns the note. Because,
that whole the note actually really got to me.
Because he knows
that
if Bruce knew that Rachel was going to abandon him, then he would give up. And Alfred knows that he can't give up. And there's so much to chew on with this movie, and there's not other comic book movies like this. I've never watched another comic book where I'm discussing the thematic importance of these tiny little plot points, like the note, the coin, or the knife, or the scars. All of it means something.
Even a lot of films in general, you just don't talk about it that much. But let alone superhero films. Really changed the game in every aspect of it. Even smaller stuff like the score and everything. It's crazy.
And I have flaws, but they're tiny. They're nitpicky. And honestly, one of my flaws is just a joke. I love the hospital scene where a person. Just imagine you're Harvey Dent, and you're laying in a hospital, and a person with white face, a white makeup all over his face, and black eyes comes in, but he's got a mask on, and you're like, "Oh, who's this guy?" And then he takes off the mask, and you're like, "The Joker!" It's like Harvey doesn't realize it's Joker until he takes the mask off. And I'm like, okay. So it's like something out of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
You thought it was else, but it was me, Joker.
The way he just lays there, but then Joker takes the mask off and he goes. And then
oh gosh!
It's so stupid. It's I don't understand what was the decision there. Yeah. And then my other issue is how Joker always manages to just kind of get on a school bus.
Yeah,
and,
it's so
and people are like, "Where's the bad guy at?" It couldn't possibly be the school bus that just pulled out of the back of the bank. None of the people on the bus route were like, who's the motherfucker that just pulled out that bank?
Maybe
what district is he from?
maybe they had to pull over. Maybe they had to pull over and grab something. It happens.
Yeah, and that's just every time I watch it, I'm just like, okay. Also, fun fact: if you watch him climb into the back of the bus after he blows up the hospital, you can see a cameraman sitting sitting in the seat recording Heath Ledger. He's recording Heath Ledger because they were originally going to do a shot from the inside of the bus, but they just went with the helicopter shot over the burning hospital. But you can see a guy recording Heath Ledger. It's really funny.
Oh goodness! But other than that, I have my one nitpick is Two-Face nearly gets himself killed for no good reason when he's he finds like Falcone and he tells him like give him information on like
he finds who now?
Falcone.
Falcone.
Did I say Falcone?
You
you said
the
Falcone.
Animated series. How do you pronounce these wrong?
I don't know. Who am I? I think I'm thinking of someone else named
Fake
Falcone.
fan.
Anyway, he finds Falcone.
And he like gets information, and and Falcone's all like, "It was Ramirez or something." Tells him like,
"It was Ramirez."
The
line delivery gets me.
Point being, in that scene, then he like flips the coin to determine if he's gonna kill Falcone or not. Then it flips good, so he doesn't. And he's like, "You're a lucky man." Then he flips it again. He's like, "But your driver's not." Then he shoots the driver, which causes the car they're in to flip over and crash. And I'm like, how did Two-Face know he was not going to just die in that car?
Yeah, I know. It's like he was really banking on...
like, did this man like do a personal coin flip for himself? Will I die if I shoot this guy?
It'd be really funny if Gordon got a call and they were just like, "Hey, we just found Harvey Dent dead in an upturned car." Movie over!
The end. But other than that, I also want to bring this because me and my brother, when we watched Batman Forever, we noticed there's a scene where the best Two-Face ever, acted by Tommy Lee Jones, shoots. He's in like a helicopter. He's in a helicopter being chased by Batman, and and Batman gets on like the front glass of the helicopter. So Two-Face like shoots at him and ends up shooting his pilot instead. So my brother's really just like, does Two-Face just have a habit of killing his drivers? And I was like, damn, you're right. He did it in this movie and in The Dark Knight. But yeah, I guess Two-Face just has a habit of killing his drivers.
My wrap-up thoughts, because we have to move on, or else we'll talk about
we'll be here for a long time.
And we got apparently a lot to say about Dark Knight Rises.
My wrap-up thoughts
everything before that, everything that we've said before where we're like, oh, but I have an issue with this, but we'll talk about it in the third movie. It's like, everything's built to this moment.
My wrap-up thoughts. All right. Dark Knight is the best comic book movie. It is my 5th favorite movie of all time. And Christian Bale is the best Batman. And that's just that. Like, there are so many good things about this movie, and if I try to talk about them all, I'd be here until next week.
Okay, I'm going to be honest. I actually really dig Ben Affleck if he has a good writing as Batman, but that's just me. I still like Christian Bale, but I really dig Ben Affleck when he's actually written well. Anyways, point is,
Annika?
Dark Knight Rises.
What?
Annika, your wrap-up thoughts?
Yeah.
Oh my god, now I feel pressured. I don't know what else is there to say about this movie. It's just fantastic. I feel like almost like a plebeian when I talk about it, because it's like it's so above me in any way.
Really
it's like as an aspiring filmmaker, you're just like, that's like what you want to reach, but you know you never will, because it's like the god of all. It's a whole other like plane of existence. So
it is up there. It's up there with like Superman 66 and Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Verse, and like it's just, it will live on forever.
there's nothing else I can say about it other than it's pretty much about as close to a perfect movie as you can get, because when it comes to how many aspects go into filmmaking, it's a miracle anything ever turns out actually good, let alone this amazing. This is just something that you just
like
don't ever see. It's like a 1 in a 10. It's like a 1 in a 10,000 type of deal. It's just fantastic. I can't really say anything else.
All right, let's talk about the best one.
And always remember, what doesn't kill you makes you look like a creep with scars.
Do you want to know how I got these scars?
Man.
I worked at a pet store. My best friend bet me $10 I wouldn't French kiss a weasel. Let's just say I got my $10.
Okay.
All right.
Man,
let's talk about the best one.
Heath Ledger looks
the best one.
Heath Ledger looked weird without his Joker makeup. In that one shot where he's in like a soldier uniform, seeing Joker without his makeup creeped the hell, gave me nightmares. Anyways, Dark Knight Rises.
Best one. Woo!
Yeah.
Woo!
I'm gonna be honest. I know Triple M hates this movie. I actually kind of dig it. It's not perfect, but I think that like as a trilogy closer, it actually does deliver on a lot of good themes. Execution needed to be better, but this film is quite an experience. It would have been. I just think Nolan saved it from being a lot worse. I'll put it like that. It could have been a lot worse in any other hands, but yeah.
I need to start, and my friends, guys, if you're listening to, I'm sorry, but you know it had to be brought. This film has one of, if not my least favorite line of dialogue in movies.
Mm-hmm.
So Bane is on the plane, and then the guy, Aidan Gillen, goes, "If I take that mask off, you die. We're extremely painful. You're a big guy, or you." Okay, now let's discuss. What is the "for you" in reference to? Is he saying you're a big guy?
Pun?
No. Seriously, think about this. This is such a poorly written line. Is he saying you're a big guy for you, or is he saying it would be extremely painful? You? What's he saying? What is he fucking saying?
There's no point or conclusion.
Every
to it.
time I watch the movie, I don't know what he's responding to.
They only just needed to cut out that middle part. Just have him say, "If I take that mask off, will it be painful?" Then all he has to say is "for you."
If that was actually just how did they not read that?
Dude,
scene?
it's so
kind of sounds odd.
It's like
and
there's
even
no
if you,
right answer.
And even if you read it, it was that sounds weird.
Is he continuing? It would be extremely painful. Or is he responding to "you're a big guy"? Let us know in the fucking comments what you think, because I need an answer. I need an answer.
I'll check. You know what? I'll just check the script while we're here, man. I'll try to find it.
It doesn't matter. The script's just
I bet it
say...
is. But if it isn't, then why would I don't understand either.
But that scene in general is really stupid. I don't like.
That's how it
Bane
is in the script. It's how it is in the script. He says, "If I pull this off, will you die? It would be extremely painful. You're a big guy, gets cut off for you."
Yeah, what?
It's in the script.
Okay,
what's the point?
Let's talk about how this film sets the tone for the entire movie to be a big, stupid piece of shit.
Oh boy. Boy.
I mean, the action is cool, plane physics, whatever. That's not how planes work, but who gives a shit? Let's talk about how Bane is just okay, if they find the body in the wreckage, they'll think it was Pavel because I put this guy's blood in him.
That was kind of weird.
No, there are other ways to identify a body. Teeth, or
mainly dental records. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You ever heard of teeth, or skin, or I don't know what?
The fucking face.
Yes, one pint of blood will tell me that this is Dr. Pavel and not this terrorist. It's so dumb. It's so fucking dumb.
This movie.
And then I don't. Bane is. And this is gonna hurt me to say it.
Oh boy.
Bane is my favorite Batman villain. Bane is a bad villain.
I think he's a
There
bad
are
villain,
no good
mainly,
villains in this movie.
The problem with him in this movie is that I think he's not the main one, and that he just doesn't have a lot of personal stake in the fight. And it's because of the plot twist, which we'll get to. But
the stupid ass fucking plot twist.
Bane,
but
I liked his presentation.
He's a horrible villain. I don't have a problem with the way he talks. I have a problem with the way the audio is mixed. Because whenever Bane talks, I don't know if you've noticed this, but in The Dark Knight Rises, whenever Bane talks, all other sounds are drowned out.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to make sure people could understand him, so they turned up his audio and turned the rest down. So it literally sounds like he's in a recording studio and it's only him, and it makes me so uncomfortable because I feel like Tom Hardy's laying down next to me shouting in my ear. and it's his plan is stupid. It makes no sense. Okay, let's call it his plan. Even we all know that it was let's call it Bane's plan for now. But the plan is stupid.
It is.
It relies on so much. It's let's pretend that the army's not going to come help. Let's pretend that this nuke fucking works. Let's pretend that
Like, this movie
It's
of
so
all,
dumb.
Like, if I had to define, like, the Dark Knight trilogy, the first movie is a sort of by-the-book superhero movie that manages to stand out. The second movie is, well, a good movie and a crime drama. And this movie feels like a fantasy apocalypse for some reason.
It feels like something. It feels like something a really dedicated fan wrote, or perhaps Tom King. Tom King, if you're listening, fuck you.
No! Go ahead, Tom King!
No.
Thank you for what you did to Wally West. I'm sorry.
Damn.
Anyway, back to this. Because Tom King did this shit. Tom King did the exact same shit.
Remember your blood pressure, Triple M.
Fuck Tom King. He's the worst Batman. Right. Okay. Back to this.
Anyways, on Dark Knight Rises.
The MacGuffin of this film is so dumb.
God.
It's like, why would any company ever make... Let me just put this into words, and you'll hear how stupid it is. This is a nuclear fission device. It helps make clean water and energy, but also if you press a few keys, it will fucking blow everything up.
Dear God.
It will destroy everything. And then instead of saying, no, we should not make this, destroy it, they said, well, we'll keep it here.
Just in case.
Keep it here.
You know,
we'll
just for
forget
some
that it
reason.
exists, and we'll can the project, but we'll keep it there in case Bruce Wayne ever feels like he wants to blow the city up. What's the logic? It makes no sense. It's stupid. And then in the final 10 minutes, Batman is flying to the city carrying a nuke from his truck.
Jesus.
He's carrying a nuke like truck, slamming it into the fucking building.
Oh my
God. What's going on? And not to mention the fact that he gets out of it and kills over like 1/5 of the marine life near Gotham.
Dear God.
The
Water will be radiated.
Definitely.
The water will be mutated for years.
Don't drink the Gotham water. Like
you think that fallout isn't going to affect anyone?
Oh my God.
Hiroshima did not just fuck up. Like, Fat Man did not just fuck up Hiroshima. It fucked up the entire land it laid on.
And Fat Man was definitely not as nearly as powerful as the bombs that are used now. It's not nearly as strong.
There are so many holes. I mean, there's the obvious one I was talking about when the movie came out, which is Batman gets out of prison, and then the next day he's home, even though the prison's in fucking Saudi Arabia.
In all fairness, he didn't actually get there in a day. Like, the movie should have explained this, but he didn't actually get there in a day. It was like a month or something. It's just you just don't really tell because they never really address it. But apparently, like, it was like a month or so that it took for him to get back.
That's
from
still
place.
an issue.
Yeah, they should have explained it. Definitely.
I mean, time logic wise, it makes sense.
Time just like
doesn't
happens.
exist.
Yeah. It's not like there's no 3 months later title. There's no character saying it's been 3 months.
Yeah.
It's just Batman shows up, and then in the credits or something, or afterwards, you're like, oh, it's 3 months.
Yeah, like apparently, like the whole Gotham. Yeah, like apparently, like Gotham being overrun was like months on end. I thought it was like a week, but apparently it was like months on end.
And you know what's fun? You know what makes me sad? What makes me really sad is that the dumbass fucking nuke isn't even the stupidest plot point of this goddamn movie. It's let's take every single police officer
and put them underground.
Let's just take them all and move them somewhere, and if it goes wrong, we'll deal with it. Like, what the fuck? It's a training exercise, they said.
Oh,
no.
God.
Any human being with common sense is like, yes. Training exercise. What were they eating for 3 months? What did they eat? Where did they? I mean, it's the sewers, so I guess they shit wherever they wanted to. What did they drink? Were they drinking sewer water? After 3 months of being in the sewers, being malnourished and eating nothing, how did every single one of those cops come out ready to fight a goddamn war?
Like literally just beating people up in the street. Like this.
That's the thing.
So
it's
fantastical.
Like you said that the first and I respect your opinion. You said that the first one is kind of campy, but for the love of God, Hugo, there's a literal like war in the final. Like it's cops versus criminals, and it's anyone's game. Like
and Batman,
fucking military.
Batman
A battle for the soul of Gotham City.
Jesus.
What the fuck, man?
Like this movie goes way too in with its themes, in my opinion. Like there's themes, and then there's just literal war in the middle of a city.
It's so
like...
dumb. It's such a bad conclusion, and they butcher Alfred's character.
Yeah, he kind of just leaves, and that's it.
It pisses me off because so in The Dark Knight, it's like Alfred goes, the Batman is a symbol, and as long as there's trouble, the Batman has to fight crime. You can never stop. And then in Dark Knight Rises, he's like, you gotta stop, dude.
Yeah, he's just like,
you
gotta die.
You gotta stop. And then in Batman Begins, Bruce is like, you still haven't given up on me. He says, never. And that is powerful. But then in Dark Knight Rises, he's like, psych, bye.
I'm a dip out.
I've given up on you.
I'm not gonna watch you kill yourself, but I'll come to your funeral and be sad about it, bitch. Like, what? It's so dumb. Like, they butcher Alfred's character. And also, like, it's completely mean-spirited of Alfred to, like, completely fuck up his own character arc. Like, yeah, I'm burning this letter because it will make Bruce lose hope. And I think I have a theory that learning about that letter is why Bruce lost that fight, because he had nothing to fight for.
Yeah.
You know, nobody was standing behind him. You know, I mean, you could argue that he was out of the game, and you could argue that, you know, Bane caught him off guard, but I genuinely think that Rachel always kept him going. And then Alfred was like, yeah, fuck you. She did not love you. And Bruce is like, well, why am I doing this? It's such a betrayal of Alfred's character arc. Like, it
like, it's like, and that's what's sad about this movie. So many of its characters are either retconned or just not important, and then there's so much more underneath that had potential. Mainly Bruce Wayne. I liked like the whole what they were going for with the whole he's out of his prime. He's been depressed for the past like 8 years thing, and him having to actually like and the whole metaphor of him having to rise up against the Dark Knight. It's just everything else surrounding it's kind of flat. Also, new characters in this movie are kind of weirdly placed, like John Blake and Catwoman. Or wait, Robin and Catwoman. Apparently his real name's Robin. Anyways. Robin was...
Shut the fuck up. I don't want to talk about that.
Robin was a weirdly placed... He was a weirdly
Tim
placed
Drake,
character.
motherfuckers, not John Blake.
Tim Drake, John Blake... Oh, my goodness. But yeah, Robin was kind of weirdly placed, how he's just suddenly this all-important character, and I'm like, who the fuck are you? Like, I thought I missed something. I was like, was he in The Dark Knight, and I just wasn't paying attention?
It's so dumb, because, like, the way that he... Oh god, this made me roll my eyes. Yeah, this is what I'm getting to. This made me roll my eyes. He's like, I was an orphan. I know what it looks like to be an orphan. I saw your eyes.
Your face.
I've seen your face, motherfucker.
Your face. I had that.
Don't try that with Superman, dick.
Yeah, that was like Superman. What? I'm just like, he's like, I saw you were depressed as Bruce Wayne. Therefore, you're Batman. Okay, like what? But. That needed better development. Catwoman though, like Catwoman, I never really liked Catwoman. She's always just kind of there, flirting with Batman for no reason. But she worked in this film being like this sort of Robin Hood like character. Like she hates the rich, and by the end of the film, she learns to actually help other people. Her seductive charm. Maybe it's just I don't really care for her actress, but I didn't really get any seductive feels from this. I don't know. She was just kind of there. Her
I mean, if you want to talk about seduction, let's talk about the lack of chemistry between Talia and Bruce, because they're supposed to be like deeply in love.
Like she just kind of shows
running in the
up.
rain.
Yeah,
they're running in the rain, and then they're naked.
Yeah, then they smash. It's just like, oh, we're locked out of your house. Want to smash? Yeah, okay. I'm just like,
also, here's another plot hole. I didn't even think about this. So Bane, okay. In The Dark Knight, there's a shit ton of plot threads that come together, and it makes perfect sense. You don't have a hard time understanding it. In The Dark Knight Rises, there's a shit ton of plot threads that don't come together, but somehow they do, and the movie moves forward. Like, somehow, Bane raiding the stock market and making a bunch of trades means he and Miranda own Wayne Tech. Except... they were fraudulent trades, so any stock market would be like, yeah, that's fraudulent. We're just going to overturn the trades. That's not how that works. Also, like, Batman gets back from being in prison for months, and then he just starts drawing with the chalk. Like what? He's just like, I'll let people know I'm back with chalk. What the fuck?
And I'm just like for a saga that grounded itself in realism so much, you'd think they'd actually focus more on the details of this one, but the themes seem to outweigh the actual like realism of it. And that's why I'm like, I appreciate the effort, but you gotta just like tone it down a little bit.
They just tried too hard. It kind of just
Why is there a prison?
Pretentious.
Sorry, go ahead. Why is there a prison on Earth where the prisoners can climb out? That would be like if Alcatraz had a door, but you have to find the key.
You gotta.
What the fuck?
Oh my god.
Don't worry. Hey, don't worry.
No one will ever find
He's got to make the rise. He's got to rise.
Oh, it's
we have to show him climbing up, and then it's just like, what are they chanting? Rise. Shut the fuck up. It's so.
Yeah. There's so many. Other than that, I mentioned Catwoman earlier. I don't really like her romance with Bruce. I like how she steals from him and like leaves him for dead, and then he's perfectly okay with just running away and changing identities with her at the end of the film because they like kissed once. And I'm like, this man is so desperate for love after Rachel. His girlfriend could try to kill him and he'll still be with her. But other than that, I have no. There's other practical things.
I just. Mm-hmm. Well, practical. Most of the hand-to-hand combat is.
Yeah, that's
garbage.
what we're gonna get to.
It's like
this is really
literally
evident in this one.
Why are you fighting with your elbow?
Yeah,
why
apparently,
are you jabbing at him?
Apparently, it's based on Casey Fighting Method (KFM), some old like martial arts technique, and like I've seen behind the scenes of footage of like them making the Dark Knight and talking about it. Apparently, they picked this fighting method because it hasn't really been represented in cinema. Like we've seen Taekwondo and Kung Fu, but never this.
Good.
And I'm like,
Jesus,
there's a reason. And, yeah, I'm like, there's a reason. Like, I'll post it up on the screen if I can find it. But I saw a clip of the people of the like stunt trainers like doing the KFM technique, and it looks dumb. I'm sorry. Like I respect people who like it, but it
and
just
then
looks
there's
dumb.
the fact that. You know how in video games there's that really bad trope, and they're moving away from this, thank God.
Mm-hmm.
There's that really bad trope where if you're fighting someone, you're fighting a group of bad guys, the others will politely wait their turn as you beat the shit out of their friend.
Yeah.
That's how this movie
what
feels.
like film.
When he's in the middle of a war and all of the other thugs are just like backing up. You can see in the back, and they like back up and they wait for him to. They wait their turn.
NPCs.
Yeah, like do you know the meme of the guy who just dies without anyone touching him? Like during when Batman and Catwoman are fighting a bunch of guys, there's just this one dude in the background who's just like stumbling about, not sure if he wants to jump in. Then he just falls over, and I'm just like, did he just like die like magically? like he was so scared of what Batman would do to him that he just knocked himself out. And there's all this other stuff. A lot of people point out how Batman like will kick one guy, and then the guy behind him will act like he got affected instead. And I'm just like, how did the choreography fall so flat for this one?
I don't know. Like, how do you go from The Dark Knight to this?
Yeah,
it's so poorly written, and this movie has the worst instance of something I like to call multiple ending syndrome. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people get mad at Return of the King for this, but fuck you, Return of the King is a flawless film.
Ooh.
People get mad at Return of the King for this because Return of the King does have multiple endings, but with each ending you get like 10 minutes dedicated to it. But in The Dark Knight Rises, within the span of 6 minutes, Batman dies. Bruce Wayne donates all of his remaining assets to the betterment of children. Bruce Wayne apparently figured out how to program the autopilot. Bruce Wayne survived the crash, and Alfred sees him. And
Bruce
then
Wayne
Alfred
was not affected. Yeah, Bruce
Alfred
Wayne was not.
Alfred just like looks at him and he's like, "Yes," and he walks away.
I just be like, "Wait a second, is that Bruce Wayne?"
and then Robin becomes Batman. Like, what the fuck ever. But no, let's talk about how stupid Batman's ending is. How, ignoring the fact that this should have ended in The Dark Knight with Batman making the ultimate sacrifice for the betterment of the city. They got another shot at it, and they still fucked it up. Like, Batman should have just died. He should have just died.
Goodness.
Like that's Batman is a symbol who will sacrifice himself for the betterment of the city.
Because, him surviving kind of makes him look like an asshole. Like, you realize he just left the responsibility.
If you survive, then go back and do
he left the responsibility.
It seems more like it seems more like he abandoned Gotham.
Yeah, like he just left it to some dude. He just left it to some dude who he barely knows and he didn't train. Like, John Blake's gonna die on the first day. He doesn't have training.
When I first saw this movie, I legitimately thought that Alfred was hallucinating in that cafe.
That's what I thought too.
I was like, wait, God. did he see him or not? But like, why would Alfred be like, I never got to say goodbye to my son. Oh look, there he is. Bye. He just walks away.
My goodness.
And no one notices that Bruce Wayne and Batman disappear at the exact same fucking time.
Don't question it. It's Superman
logic.
It's Superman logic, man.
I feel bad. I feel bad because, you know, I keep laying into this movie, but there's one thing I haven't addressed that I need to address.
Mm-hmm. Is it her?
Yeah, it's the completely and utterly ham-fisted twist.
Turns out the main villain is indeed Talia al Ghul. And you're probably asking, who the heck is that? Because she just comes out of nowhere.
And do you want to know when we find out who the main villain really is?
Like
10 minutes before the movie ends.
Good Lord.
And then, okay, I'm trying to think of a way to phrase this. First, let's talk about the fact that Gordon is trying so hard to put that, like, device on the bomb that will disable the trigger. Why is that device even a thing? If the bomb's still gonna go off, like, why? I'm looping back to the stupid fucking MacGuffin. But anyway, so 10 minutes left in the movie. Bane's about to kill Batman, or Batman's about to kill Bane, or take him down, and then the side character bitch is just like, hey,
shows up like, hey, I'm a bad guy.
I'm the bad guy.
Just shakes him.
Just as a surprise.
Duh. It's so dumb. And then, dude, I love Christian Bale. He's a great actor, but the way he was acting in that scene is not.
It was.
He's going like,
choice.
like he's crying.
He's like, what's going on? He goes, Miranda.
He's as confused as the audience.
Is he have Down syndrome? Like, what's going on?
The man doesn't know how to react. He doesn't know.
The bomb. You can't do this. The bomb.
My goodness, the man doesn't know what to do.
And then she just walks away. But the biggest crime to me is how they handle Bane.
Exactly, like he's just the villain, then he's just not, and then he's just gone. And I'm just like,
no,
what?
It's not. And like, if you were describing this movie to someone and you said that, they'd be like, "Oh, you mean like he falls off a cliff and you get one last shot of him dying?" No. Well, yes, but no. Catwoman comes in, shoots him, he slides across the floor, and you never see him again.
He's just dead, I guess.
The man who has been the main villain for the last movie. 2.5 hours just gets.
Oh god, this reminds me of Predator, the Predator reboot. This literally happened in the Predator reboot, where
and it's like, if you could kill him that easy, why the fuck has he been a threat this whole time?
This reminds me of
why has he been a threat?
Yeah. It's like in the Predator reboot. The I can't remember what his name is. But the main
Michael Key or
no, the bad guy of that film works for like Stargazer or whatever.
I never fucking saw it.
Oh, well, there's like this bad guy. I can't remember what else he's been in. But the black dude who like chews gum a lot, like he's like the main villain of the film, and he antagonizes with like the misfit group and they both have to work together to stop the Predator, right? So then, while they're fighting the Predator, the dude just shoots himself and dies, and that's it. Like just randomly in the middle of the fight, it's just shoots himself and he's gone, and he's just not the main villain anymore. And they never address it.
Newsflash.
Newsflash.
Looking up black dude who chews gum a lot did not get many search results.
I can't remember his name. I'll put up his actor if I can find it.
Back to fucking Talia al Ghul. The way she dies is legitimately like hilarious.
Yeah, I get it's like poetic. It's supposed to be like a lot of people point out how they use the same. Yeah, they use the same music.
I mean, okay.
They use the same music as their
poetic,
father.
like it looks like something that would happen in a of Romeo and Juliet. She just goes, Bleh! Like it's a Lego game. Like if her Lego character and just went, and just fucking slumped over. That's how she dies. It's like, what?
Like
and it's like she died of a broken neck. That's not how broken necks work.
No.
If she died of a broken neck, she would be dead. There would be no last words. There would be no collapsing.
My goodness, I thought
it's so dumb. This movie hurts me. It's such a ham conclusion to the two of the greatest CBMs ever.
Mm-hmm.
That stands for comic book movie, not cockball mutilation.
Oh my! Point is, like, I like that it's like symbolic how when she crashes, like it uses the same music and it's the same framing as when Ra's al Ghul died, but like, or Ra's al Ghul, but like the whole Oh yeah, look it up. Like apparently, Ra's al Ghul and Talia die in the same way, but it's just like doesn't work because we don't care about her.
Wait.
Mm-hmm.
Wait. They do die in the same way.
Yeah.
In a poorly thought out conclusion for their.
Heyo.
Roasted.
Oh Jesus! Sorry,
Goodness.
I just hate her death.
Yeah.
And then she literally dies like 3 minutes before.
And then she's just,
and it's just
dead.
It feels so rushed. The pacing is so insane.
Yeah.
Like the first 2 hours are slow, and then the last 30 minutes is fast. Oh, he's dead. It happens so quick.
So to wrap up, I guess in general, this movie really is just like the flimsy finale. Like every trilogy has one film that just doesn't work, and more often than not, it's always the third one. And like, it could have been great. It could, Return of the Jedi, Spider-Man 3, as memeable as it is. Like, there's always a third one.
Spider-Man 3 sucks ass.
It's hilarious, though. Anyways,
I was gonna talk. Yeah. I did want to give this movie the benefit of the doubt. Mm-hmm. Go into detail about the stuff I like, because there are a few things I like. Let's see. Okay.
Is
Sorry,
that it?
I was just thinking of how. No, I was thinking of how I had notes written down, and I wrote down Batman as a graffiti artist, and and I spoke out of turn. Not the chalk, it's the goddamn flaming bat symbol. Like, hey everybody, I'm back. Do you know how I'm gonna let everybody know I'm back? By spending 3 hours pouring gasoline in the exact shape of a bat.
My goodness.
Like, and Bane goes, impossible. Like, yes, it shouldn't be possible. Gasoline should not work.
My goodness.
Sorry, but there are things about this movie that I like. Best character of the entire film is James.
Of course.
He is the best character in the entire movie. His morality is challenged, and the way that he... I love the line. Oh, God, I love the line. It gives me chills every time, because Gordon's the best character. So when Blake is chastising it... Sorry. Robin is chastising him for blaming Harvey Dent's killings on Batman. He's like, you weren't there, but someday I hope you have to make the same decision I did. I pray you have a friend like I did. Something along those lines, and it gives me chills. The line delivery is so good.
Yeah, like,
way
you
it's
can
written.
tell. Yeah, you can tell he's like really broken in this film, and I think
he's like he hated doing what he did. He hated making his friend take the blame. And you can really tell. And I love that at the start of the movie, he's like literally about to read off a speech
about like Harvey
about how awful Harvey Dent was. Now, I don't understand why he wouldn't tear that shit up and not let Bane find it, but whatever.
My goodness.
What else do I like? I like Batman's sacrifice. He should have just died and not fake died. Like the final moments between Batman and Gordon. It has one of my favorite Batman quotes. A hero can be anyone. Someone doing something as simple, putting a on a young boy and then Gordon figures it out. That moment gets to me. Like, it's a really great moment because his Batman's only real friend in these movies is Gordon. Yeah, he sticks with him to the literal very end. And I think that's what these movies do best. The relationship Batman has with Gordon. And it's so good. It's such a good scene. What else did I like? Bane blows up the football stadium's a pretty cool scene. Of course, I hate the weird-ass way he's just like, who has the damn... The guy's like, I do. And he's like, aha! On live TV, he goes, Gotham, I am not your enemy. I just killed the man on live TV. Burned all your bridges, cut off your food supply, and released all the prisoners. But I'm not your enemy.
This man is not our enemy.
What else did I like? Fuck. There's the scene where Batman outsmarts the cops, where he finally comes back, music kicks in, and that one veteran cop is just like, "Oh, you're getting a show tonight," boy. Like, it's a scene. Because the music, we haven't talked about this yet, but the music for these movies knock you on your ass.
It's fantastic.
It is so good. It's like my favorite score.
It knows how to be it knows how to be epic without just being like in your face, and I think it works.
Yeah,
like Avengers
shout out
music,
to,
and there's nothing wrong with Avengers.
Arden Hans Zimmer.
There's nothing wrong with Avengers music, but I think that Avengers music is like, okay, here's what we do: take the normal theme, turn it up to 15, we got a good scene. But with Hans Zimmer, he's like, I'm gonna invent a new theme for every character and every scene because I'm a fucking badass. It's so good. The music and in this movie, it's the best. It's weird as the films go down in quality, the music goes up.
Yeah.
Jeez. But and I liked Catwoman, I guess. Like Anne Hathaway was a good choice to play her. I mean, she doesn't do much in the movie, and she steals apples from kids. Whatever, it's great. I hate that I don't like this movie because it would be so great to finally have a trilogy where every single film is perfect.
Yeah.
Because I don't think there is one.
Yeah,
Captain America has Civil War. I hate that movie. Sorry.
What?
Iron Man. Thor
Take
has
that
Civil
back.
War
Take
and
that
2.
back right now.
I don't like Civil War. But it's about Civil War.
Oh boy.
About Civil War. Avengers has Age of Ultron. Ant-Man has Ant-Man 2. Man of Steel has that movie. And Batman vs. Superman. There's no good Superman after 20. There's no good Superman movie after.
I mean, my thoughts are pretty much wrapped up in general. Overall, the film had good ideas, but went way too over the top and metaphorical. And I mean,
Try Hardy. It's like one of those. It's like when you write some BS poetry or something, and you're just like, it's like you. And then you just like make up a meaning like on the spot and are like, oh, I try to do this and be this deep or something. That's kind of what I feel like this is.
Yeah.
It's like very obvious and surface level, but they try and make it a bit deeper than it really is.
It makes me want to sit down, and I hate when people do this. I fucking hate when they do this. I hate when people rewrite something they think is bad, because The Last of Us 2 is one of my favorite games ever. It's really good, but people don't like the story because I don't like women in my games. I don't like playing as women. Getting off track. But somebody sat down and some incel who doesn't like women. I want to play as Joel again. They sat down and they rewrote the entire game, and the story is so bad it's laughable.
Oh,
that's
I'm
why
sure.
That's why I hate when. But Dark Knight Rises legitimately makes me want to sit down and try and write a better version of the story, because there's a couple ideas that I really want to explore. Specifically, how about I like that they do this in Dark Knight Returns, the comic. How about instead of giving it all to this one motherfucker you don't know, how about you find the guys from the beginning of the second movie, beginning of Dark Knight, and you're like, do you still want to be Batman? Because I will train you, but you can't use guns. And he leaves with an army, with an underground army of Batman, instead of just fucker doesn't know what he's doing. That's cool. The concept I've always wanted to explore, because I think the fact that Batman has copycats in the Dark Knight is another reaffirmation of Alfred's main point. Batman is a symbol for Gotham. Yeah. He makes people see the best in themselves. So if he had tracked down those guys, let's do it. Just don't use any guns. I think it would have been
the ones who are still alive. Remember that one guy who the Joker murked?
His name was Brad. He had a name.
Brad.
His name was Brad, I think.
Yeah.
He had a name.
But yeah.
That, by the way, I didn't my Dark Knight review. How many times I watched the Dark Knight. That scene always scares the shit out of me. When the mayor walks out the window, like, blah, 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 this city. And then he's just, boom, dead body.
Like, Jesus.
Every time it scares the shit out of me, because I never see it coming. Okay, sorry. We should wrap up.
Yeah. So is that any other major thoughts, or should we just, wrap up now, I guess?
No, Dark Knight Rises disappoints me, but I enjoy watching it, but I can't think about it.
You're ranking in order of films from best to worst.
Dark Knight Begins, Rises.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, best to worst? Yeah, best to worst.
I think Dark Knight's at the top of all of ours, obviously.
Yeah,
it's pretty
obviously.
good. For me, it's Dark Knight. It's just gonna sound weird, but I'm actually putting Rises over Begins. Not because Rises is a better film.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's not a better film, but I just enjoy watching it more.
Yeah,
That's
more
okay.
fun watching
I
it.
understand.
Yeah.
You don't have to justify this shit. I'm not going to attack you.
Opinions are opinions. Well, you're not the fan. Some fans will. Yeah.
Hey, this isn't the Star Wars fandom. We're allowed to have opinions.
True. Anyways, I mean, yeah, I guess that's it. So that leaves us with recommendations. Any recommendations this week?
Oh, God.
Of any media you want to recommend, guys?
I'm once again asking you all to read Invincible.
Okay.
But flip through this journal. What's a good watch in the last 2 weeks? Everybody go out and watch Avatar: Last Airbender live action. Simply because it will show you all the things not to do when you make a movie.
Pretty much a perfect... If Dark Knight is, like, a perfect movie to, like, say, this is what you should do in filmmaking... Mm-hmm. Then Avatar, The Last Airbender is a perfect what not to do in a film. It's like the complete opposite of it on the other spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yep. That's
wait, what about us? Our recommendation.
I know.
Okay.
I'm just saying. Those are my recommendations.
Okay.
Watch
Flame.
Avatar: Last Airbender live action and read Invincible. There you
go. Galactic Flame. Do you have a recommendation?
I don't think so. I don't know. I just started binging on Legend of Korra again, and I have a lot of mixed feelings about it.
Okay.
Hey, does J.K. Simmons play Aang in that?
He plays Tenzin.
Tenzin, yeah. His Aang's son, but not like Aang.
Yeah.
He's Aang's son?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
wait,
thought,
you haven't
thought...
have you finished Avatar: The Last Airbender?
Just okay. I'm on book 3.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like Aang with hair. Shave that motherfucker. I thought I saw all these pictures of...
I thought he was Aang when I was a kid too.
Yeah,
I watched
right.
the show.
Damn it, that disappoints me. Damn it.
Yeah, it's one of those series where anyone important is just dead or too old. So you don't get to know.
Now I don't want to watch it.
Yeah.
Now I don't want to watch.
I mean, it's to each their own. It has some good moments, but you know.
I don't doubt that it has good moments.
It, though, which is good.
Toph is in it?
Mm-hmm. She's like briefly in like one of the seasons, but she is still sassy as hell.
Yeah.
All right.
Legend of Korra is like they have some serious pacing issues because of like because the whole like so they have 4 seasons, right? Mm-hmm. But so Avatar: The Last Airbender, like, even though it's like, oh, we gotta go here to learn water bending, we gotta learn earth bending, but the whole point of the whole series is, like, we gotta defeat the Fire Lord and end the war. Like, that's the whole thing.
Yeah, they have
and everything after that, and every mission after that, like, stems to basically help achieve that goal. Mm-hmm. It either happens along the way or to achieve that goal.
No spoilers.
Legend of Korra just kind of goes back and forth in between things. Like, it's so inconsistent. They have some, like, decent premises, like the first season being like, oh, some non-benders are rising up against the benders because they see them as oppressive. I was
Even
like,
though we never see that happen.
I was like, actually, yeah, that would be kind of maybe a cool thing to think about. It's just executed extremely poorly.
Yeah.
And then season 2 is like, literally like the light spirit versus dark spirit,
giant Titan battle lasers.
Yeah, just that's it's
we don't talk about season 2.
And the general pacing of season 2 is just the worst. Like the pacing of the episodes, I felt so bored like the whole time watching it. Season 3 is actually not that bad, and then season 4 is also not as bad either. They're probably the best seasons, but they're still not nearly on the level of The Last Airbender, but whatever. So,
all right, then.
Whatever. But
you go recommend.
All right, those recommendations are kind of negative, man.
I don't know about recommendations, but
for me, I guess I have more of a positive one. It is a movie. It is a movie I love very much. I don't know, I think we mentioned it once before, but it is a movie called Face Off, directed by John Woo, starring Nicolas Cage and John Travolta. It is.
Fuck you and your
love
positive
this
recommendation.
movie.
That's a positive recommendation. At least I did mine unironically.
Well, yeah, I know that Triple M does not like this movie. I love it. I absolutely love it, man. This movie is so whack. It is amazing. The premise is basically John Travolta and Nicolas Cage switch places. I'm not gonna explain how, because that's part of the fun. But it is balls to the walls action, crazy puns, crazy acting.
I never thought I would hear someone describe Face Off as balls to the wall.
It is so amazing. I don't know how you can hate this movie. It is so amazing. It is apparently it's gonna be getting a reboot at some point, which I think is a terrible idea because
fucking go.
John Travolta and Nicolas Cage made this movie. But yeah, if you just want stupid, crazy fun that's surprisingly heartwarming, watch this movie. I think we should debate it on the podcast one day, just because I know Triple M hates it so much.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Mm-hmm. I take back my last Airbender recommendation.
Okay.
It made me want to slip my wrist. Here's an actual good recommendation.
Mm-hmm.
Go on Amazon Prime and watch The Boys.
Okay.
It is one of the best TV shows I have ever seen. It's based off of a comic. It's one of the rare instances where the TV show is actually better than the comic it's based off of. It's funny. It's edgy. It's like it's got something to say without being face about it. It's about superheroes, if that's enough, to persuade you. Mm-hmm. And it's really good. And season 2 comes out. Wait, what's today?
This September.
Oh my balls!
Season
2 comes out Thursday.
Oh my god, are you kidding me?
It comes out Thursday.
I'm so
well, there's a reason for y'all to get into it. Yeah.
Yes, go watch it now. So you're
go
right.
Watch The Boys
on time for season 2. Because oh my god, I'm so excited. That just made my day.
Yeah. Woo! Well, that has been.
I knew it was coming out next month, but dang.
That has been the Dark Knight trilogy and then some. I don't even know what we're going to cover next. I want us to kind of shy away from something.
Superhero.
Superheroes, and also just kind of generic, like blockbusters. Maybe cover something a little more indie, or maybe cover Tenet. Maybe cover. I have a feeling that either Tenet or the New Mutants is going to just get direct to DVD because it's not going to sell well. So I don't want to cover the New Mutants after seeing those first 10 minutes. I know I memed it.
I think that's before. Like self-inflicted torture.
I memed it before that we were going to cover it, but maybe not. Maybe Tenet. Who knows? That'll be our first new movie in a long time. But,
our first New Mutants.
No!
Oh, God.
Nevertheless, we'll be bringing you guys content every month. All right, let's...
Goodbye, everyone.
Triple M signing off.
Goodbye.
Bye.